You know, Cassidy, or Dr. Cassidy, as he prefers to be called, which makes sense. He is a doctor. I think is an absolute perfect poster child of what Republicans who have gone along with Trump, even though they knew it was wrong, the fate that awaits them. And let's talk about Dr. Cassidy. As a young doctor down in Louisiana, he devoted tremendous time and effort to establishing and supporting vaccine programs in public schools, particularly for underprivileged children. When he got elected to the State House, this was a cause of his. He was a vaccine guy. He's a doctor. He gets elected to the U.S. Senate. What does he do? He casts the deciding vote to put this lunatic, this ex-junkie, steroid-abusing, crazy person as head of America's healthcare. I don't understand how you could be a doctor and think that that's consistent with your oath. So he does it. Why? Well, I suppose he does it because he thinks he may lose a primary if he doesn't. So how'd that work out? So he voted to impeach Donald Trump. Now, if a handful of other Republicans had joined him and Mitt Romney and others in doing that, the country would be a lot better off. The Republican Party would be a lot better off. And to the extent it matters, Senator Cassidy would still be a U.S. Senator or have a chance to be reelected, which he would be. He wouldn't be opposed in a primary. But no, other Republicans didn't go along with it. Even though Mitch McConnell went out and gave a speech after this vote, outlining exactly why he should have voted yes. It's one of the most lunatic speeches you can imagine. You know, it's like a juror voting to quit and then coming out of the jury box and go, well, you know, the guy's a murderer. And we all know it. But, you know, I didn't vote to acquit because I thought he might be mean to my wife or something. You know, when I was drawn to the Republican Party, one of the first principles, let's call it, absolute cornerstone of it, was character counts, character's destiny. Peggy Noonan wrote a book about Reagan called When Character Was King. And you know, that was right. Character is destiny. But now, it's not that the Republican Party's drifted away from that. It's come to the opposite conclusion. It asserts now, well, we're not electing a priest, so it doesn't matter about Donald Trump. The problem is it does matter. And there also was this principle in the Republican Party that you don't negotiate with terrorists. That feeding the alligator, hoping the alligator will eat you last, never works. So, as it turns out, both of those were lies, which is why one of the reasons, along with other principles like strong on Russia, personal responsibility, that I didn't know any other conclusion to write when I wrote this book. Call it all, it was all a lie. How the Republican Party became Donald Trump. And you know, if you step back, when Donald Trump got elected in 2016, a lot of people from my Republican tribe, which the Bush tribe, told themselves, you know, Donald Trump has hijacked the party. And man, I wanted to believe that. But it never made sense. The hijacker on the plane is never popular. Nobody goes, hey, look, we get to go to Cuba. We're not going to grandma's. But Donald Trump was wildly popular. The only reason Donald Trump has taken over the Republican Party is because Republicans wanted him to take over the Republican Party. So, a Faustian bargain. And what it's easy to forget about Mephistopheles is not only does he take your soul, he doesn't deliver. And on Saturday, Dr. Bill Cassidy, soon to be ex-Senator Bill Cassidy, learned that lesson. And if the Republican Party had stood up the elected officials to Donald Trump, this didn't have to happen.